What you looking at like that, nigga? But yeah, man, I'm back, you feel me? With another reaction video, cause lately the Boston been going crazy, you feel me? Man, like, all these rats gotta die. That's all I gotta say, man. These rats gotta die. They gotta go. They gotta go, bro. These niggas, bro, they got the whole HSM, bro. Alba Kid, like, bro. These niggas got the whole HSM. The whole 30 niggas. 30 niggas, bro. Like, these rats, bro. These goddamn rats. They gotta fucking die. Bro, this is unacceptable. Yeah, let's get into this damn reaction. Trap beat. Man, I swear to God, bro. This shit, bro, I have a feeling this shit gonna disappoint me for some reason, man. I don't know. Cause like, it's a white nigga, bro. Come on. A white nigga talking about hood shit, bro. Come on, that don't make no sense. This nigga need to be talking about some 25 Fox News or some shit like that, not no hood shit. We finna get into this video, man.
This operation was intended to dismantle the NOB gang and take the most violent members of that gang off the street.
I don't expect to see these individuals out on the street the next day wearing a bracelet.
31 members and associates of Dorchester-based NOB street gang are now facing federal charges. Some were arrested this morning during raids in various parts of the state, including this scene in Attleboro.
All right, we gotta talk about the NOB story. Probably one of the wildest things we've seen in a while.
Yeah, already by his voice, I could tell, man, this nigga's finna say some stupid shit, like, straight up like that, man. Straight up like that, like, I could already feel
Also, one of the biggest RICO cases in rap history. I'm talking 31 people taken down for RICO conspiracy spanning from Boston to Cape Cod to Maine and all across Massachusetts.
I don't know why this nigga's like so confident. Like, bro, I just have a feeling he's finna say some dumb shit. Like, I don't know.
So the faces of NOB are two rappers by the name of G Fredo and 7981 Cal. They got tracks with Polo G, Mozzie, but they're pretty slept on in the mainstream. Everybody locally knows them, especially the feds who have been watching for years. And they actually started to build a case against them in 2019 when they noticed these dudes were recreating murder scenes in their music videos that had gone unsolved in the city. They were filming music videos on their ops block, burning their ops' hats, and super reckless shit. The feds were able to connect these music videos to a larger RICO conspiracy involving murders, beatings, bank fraud, pimping rings, and coke and fentanyl distribution across several state lines.
In fact, a couple of them were wearing GPS bracelets while committing their alleged.
What's crazy is the NOB gang knew this was coming. The rapper 7981 Cal even released a song called Rico a couple days ago. They could feel the walls closing in. Now, we're gonna get into all this, but before we do, check out my song of the day. This is my guy Foggy Raw. Let's go.
I need to skip this song, man. This goddamn song.
Alright, in order to understand this story, we gotta go to one hood in particular in Boston called Dorchester, and this is the home of the NOB gang. Now, NOB stands for the three streets that they rep: Norton, Olney, and Berry Street. And they've had this huge beef with two blocks that are literally...
So far, he's saying everything, right? That's surprisingly, but I don't know, man. My hopes is like very low for this nigga.
5 minutes away from them in both directions. Holmes Avenue to the south and Camrose Street to the east. Now what's crazy is most, if not all, the members of NOB are Cape Verdean. See, a lot of people don't know this, but Boston and the surrounding...
The funny thing is, bro, all these niggas is Cape Verdean. This is crazy, man. I thought Jamaican niggas was crazy, bro. Cape Verdean's next level type shit. I don't know, bro. These niggas is wild, nigga.
areas in Massachusetts have the highest Cape Verdean population outside of Cape Verde in the world, because a lot of folks from Cape Verde migrated to Massachusetts to take part in the whaling industry, where they would go off to the sea hunting for whales for their oil, meat, and whalebone, which that was pushing people into hoods. And you ended up with these triple-decker houses, many of which needed Section 8 to survive. But this is where it gets crazy. Not only are NOB mostly Cape Verdean, but the blocks that they're beefing with are also Cape Verdean, so you end up with cases where you literally got some cousins who are fighting each other. Blood.
This nigga need to get whacked, bro. This nigga is over here saying that these niggas is all cousins because they all Cape Verdean. This racist piece of white shit. That's what I'm talking about, man. This nigga need to get whacked. Cause oh my god, shit already done disappointed. Niggas over here being racist cause all these niggas is Cape Verdean. That means all these niggas is cousins. Man, shut the fuck up, bro.
Cousins from opposite blocks beefing with each other. I mean, I heard stories of the rapper G Fredo was at a
nigga said I heard stories. You mean somebody ratted to you, nigga? That's what the fuck you mean. You didn't hear shit, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Family event with his own ops, and there was so much tension there they had to separate them on each side of the party away from each other until it just got too hot and they had to cancel the event altogether. Now in 2017, G Fredo and 7981 Cal started releasing tracks to SoundCloud, and they were documenting everything they were doing in the streets, and this shit was escalating quickly. One day in September of 2017, 7981 Cal and his homie Ricky were casing this Cape Verdean barbershop because they had seen one of their ops from.
So look, the crazy thing is, niggas thought this is me. They thought this is me type shit, cause a nigga named Ricky, he has the same last name as me, but mine is Pina Cardozo. His shit's just Pina. Niggas thought it was me, and the crazy thing is, man, like, how did this nigga know this? Like, how? Like, this is what I'm talking about, these rats, my nigga. Like, nigga, how the hell is he gonna add Cal to the situation? Man, I ain't even finna say too much, bro.
Camron Street, go in there for a shape-up. Now, his name was Bunzo, and the NOB gang were notorious for using these scooters to do hits, because scooters are super mobile. You can get in and out of places that cars can't get into. So Bunzo went into the barbershop, and 7981 Cal pulled up on a scooter, following him into the barber's, and allegedly unloaded 30 rounds into him, killing him on the spot. Cal got back on the scooter and dipped. The only problem for them was, at the time, his homie Ricky, who was casing the barbershop with him, was court-ordered to wear a GPS monitor, which gave the Boston PD the GPS info of him driving past the barbershop multiple times before Bunzo was murdered. So the police got all that GPS data to prove that he's doing reconnaissance for the murder.
Y'all got paid to do this, bro.
Didn't act on it right away.
Y'all some rats.
It wasn't enough evidence. Maybe they weren't piecing that together. I don't know. And the shit continued to get violent.
Nigga, he shouldn't be saying I don't know to everything, cause this nigga don't know shit. He's been saying
and they were just taunting
wrong stuff.
And what's wild about the music is G Fredo and Cal are getting hundreds of thousands of listens on SoundCloud. Meanwhile, the rivals from Camron Street got no bullshit. None. It's like a one-sided battle in the booth, right? They're beating up on them on the tracks, basically controlling the narrative. And while all this is going on, the NOB gang was spreading their enterprise. They opened up some trap houses where they were packing up heroin, fentanyl, coke, and they had a huge customer network that went as far as Cape Cod in one direction and Maine in the other. If one of the NOB members got booked, someone would take their place, and the money would get relayed back to 7981 Cal, who would pay for their lawyers, give them canteen money. I even heard stories of Cal and G Fredo getting dressed up as
why is this nigga saying
go down to the crackhead spot in the city,
shit.
which is an intersection in Boston called the Methadone Mile, and they would do deals as crackheads. But the problem was the state was on it, right? The Boston police had several undercover officers playing the role of addicts who went to go make purchases off NOB members who were dealing. They had transaction records through text and phone, and they started to build up some evidence of the drug trafficking
trying to make these niggas
doing.
look real bad.
They
like,
didn't know the scope of things. They might have made a couple of petty drug arrests here and there, but NOB kept expanding their operations. One night in February of 2018, G Fredo and one of his shooters pulled up to Camron Street in a Chrysler Pacifica. They were doing a drill. They saw one of their rivals, whose name was John
disrespectful,
Collin,
bro.
chilling in front of his house. So they doubled back a second time and pulled the car in slowly. Gfredo and his boy went stealth mode through an alley that was adjacent to John's house, and once they saw him, they started shooting. Once they dropped him, they made it back to the Chrysler and dipped. And a woman rushed over to John to see if he was okay, and as he was bleeding out, he pointed to the Chrysler and said, "That was Gfredo," and he bled out and died. Less than 6 weeks after that murder, Gfredo put out the song They Don't Know, where he basically recreates the murder scene of John Collin in his music.
White boy know all
Something
this
about
stuff.
Fredo was he was known as the small dude with the itchy trigger finger. He would often head over to Cameron Street just looking for trouble. I heard stories of grown-ass men like OGs from the block that would see him coming and start running, which, I mean, I would too. Bullets don't discriminate with your age. You can be 19 and small with a gun, I'm running. And the rumors on the internet is that Fredo has at least 5 bodies, including his childhood friend who went by the name of Smoke, who he actually shouts out on the song called What Happened. I think the lyrics go, trying to do a kid like who? Trying to do him like Smoke. This was allegedly one of his close friends who, I guess he had to do him like that. Now, as Gfredo is racking up kills, his music is also doing really well, especially in the city. And he and 7981 Cal started to call their rap collective HSM, which stood for Headshot Mafia. Basically, you couldn't join unless you got a body. Now, as the music was picking up speed, the Boston police were starting to tap in a little more. They actually set up surveillance at NOB. Driving to that area was clearly they were looking to do drills, right? But they noticed they were being killed by police, so they started to drive and swerve in a way to get them off their trail. This led to a high-speed chase where Fredo was in the back seat and tossed the guns out the window of the SUV somewhere on the highway, dipping in and out of traffic until eventually the cops pulled them over and arrested everybody. Now, a couple people got booked, but nothing too serious. And it wasn't until the summer of 2019 where the Boston police said, listen, this is getting out of control. We need bigger guns. So they called in the feds to assist in the investigation. Now in July of 2019, a kid was headshot by an NOB member. And 2 days after he died, Fredo released the video for the song Die Homes.
That song was fire.
Pop out of his bushes like, bitch, what? That this glizzy, I'm slamming, gon' leave that stuck, we sticked up.
Now he was violating with this one. He was setting their ops' clothes on fire, simulating executions of Holmes gang members, and he filmed it right on their block, right? It was super disrespectful. All while this is going on, the feds were monitoring this shit like it was The Wire. They intercepted calls between NOB members.
This FBI agent, bro, I always see this nigga around, bro. This is like the main nigga you see in Boston, bro. Especially when it's like a big case involved, you always see this white ass nigga.
That was coded language. They were talking about eating fish, which was coded language for take out anyone you thought was Cameron Street. I'll read a bit of the transcript, right? Check this out. Even if I'm out fishing and I got my hook in the water, I'm not gonna catch that fish because I don't know what these fishes look like, bro. Now the dude on the other line goes, any fish is food. We live in the ocean. Even if you think it's friendly, you eat that fish. Just some demonic shit, right? While all this is going on, Gfredo and Cal are blowing up on SoundCloud, right? They did a music video with Polo G that summer. They did one with Mozzie in October of 2019. Now, the kid who was headshot in July of 2019, he actually had a twin brother who tried to leave Cameron Street and he tried to escape detention with NOB. They caught up to him all the way out in the suburbs of Boston, like 45 minutes away. And they did that in February of 2020. So you don't escape this. This was kind of the last straw, right? The feds had been building and building and building this case since summer of 2019. And the reason the feds were brought in was to establish what's called RICO charges. Now you probably heard of that maybe from the Treyway case with 6ix9ine where they got RICO charges. Basically, before the RICO Act was signed into law, I think by President Reagan, it was virtually impossible to prosecute the high-level mafia dons or the leaders of the gangs, right? Because they rarely ever had direct paper trail or direct evidence of them committing the crimes. It was always enforcers. So the RICO Act let the government charge everybody as a criminal organization responsible for the individual actions people inside that gang took. So if somebody commits a murder for the express purpose of moving up in the gang and elevating the criminal enterprise, everybody can be responsible for it under RICO charges.
You know what's
so a
funny,
couple
bro?
weeks ago, the
Be
feds came
mad
in,
niggas around
they
that
did a
be
huge
claiming
raid
they just saying,
in a
"If
bunch of
officers
different
come
boroughs
around,
in
nigga,
Massachusetts. They
and
swooped
ask
in
you,
and they took down 31
these niggas
members of
probably
the
be like,
NOB
nah,
gang,
bro, I don't
including
know,
G.
I'm not
Fredo
from there
and
like that.
791
These niggas that be
Cal. And as I
claiming
said,
they
literally
from
a couple
HSM,
days
this shit
ago,
be crazy.
791 Cal released a music video for his song Rico, right? Because they knew
Cal,
this
he
was
knew it
coming.
was
And
coming,
looking at
man.
the indictments, they have people on bank fraud, they got people on pimping rings, they got,
these
of
niggas
course,
is
the
doing
drug
everything.
trafficking stuff from the trap houses where they were, you know, distributing fentanyl. Of course, they got the murder charges, attempt murder charges. Reading the indictments is pretty solid. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens, but when the feds come, they don't play. I think their conviction rate is
When the feds come, they
95%.
don't
So
play.
if you're a fan of 791 Cal and G. Fredo, I mean, I gotta admit, their music is fire, but they're not coming home.
This nigga said they're not coming home. Nigga, how do you know that? Bro, this nigga need to get whacked. I can't deal with this nigga, bro. This white boy need to get whacked.
Ain't no love in these streets are war zones. Been through pain, so much suffering, only Lord knows. Ain't no options, run that bag up till my day comes. Real nigga, I'ma spend it when my day ones. Say, came from with too many niggas, they be on some phony shit.